Hey, good morning, Patriots. It's another action-packed episode of Wake Up, Patriots. Wake up. We demand it. You have to be up. So do we. Well, let's get going. So, man, oh man, what a action. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my spoiler alert Hillary wins T-shirt
Oh,
just to remind everybody what a fraud a certain party is. Good morning, Chris.
good morning. And the scary thing is there's still an outside chance she could be the candidate.
I know. Well, there's also a chance that Kamala Harris's flying monkeys will kidnap you, but I wouldn't count on it. Just saying. So I don't think it's going to happen. So
No, uh, I will say this. There is also a very good chance Kamala Harris will not be the presidential candidate
oh
as
yeah,
well. It'll be interesting. Uh,
we'll sort through all that today
yeah,
for our
yeah.
our good friends and patriots. So but without further ado, I just want to go through some of the headlines. So all right, you can tell me the truth, Chris. All seriousness. Is Joe Biden hiding in your basement right now? I mean, you could let us know. There's no shame in saying yes to an old man who's looking for shelter. So it's if you've got Joe Biden in your basement, you can let him out now. Just saying.
You found me out because here's the thing. In Rehoboth, his Hunter stole his stadium buddy to go gaming in his basement. So he
Yeah.
came here because I still had my stadium buddy, so he could play Doom while downstairs hiding in the basement. That's what Joe does. He eats ice cream and plays Doom all day.
Well, Doom is not a bad game.
Love the game.
I think it's better than say I don't know Call of Duty,
There we go.
the
But
California edition, or
but he
where
had,
people go strip club to strip club, which is a pretty action packed thing. So
but Biden's Doom is a little different. His Doom is specially made for him, so he could play for the other guys.
yeah, that is so. Well, I think it goes both ways, right? That's also the California edition. It goes both ways. Just saying. So
There we go.
so what is going on? Do you have any idea? Because I mean, you've already talked to our friend Jerry Corsi this morning, haven't you? Have you talked to Dr. Corsi?
Yes, I have, and
So what does he think's going on?
well, he really thinks the deep state is going to choose. Well, he knows the deep state is going to choose who will be the nominee for president. In as far as the Democrat Party concerned, we're looking at it like it's going to be another 1968. So, who will be the Hubert H. Humphrey of
Hmm.
2024? Will it be
Hmm.
this one, the cackling Kamala, who the only person that makes Joy Behar and Joy Reid look smart?
So I want to cover the cackle because I just want people to understand. I don't care that she cackles. I care that she has no IQ and cackles. That's the issue. It's like I have no problem with people who have awkward. Like look, Paul Lynn. Paul Lynn used to have a really awkward laugh, right? Remember Paul Lynn from
Right,
a Match Game '76 and all that stuff.
but he was
Uh,
cool, and he's the
but
center.
he was cool. That's my you hit the nail on the head. Paul Lynn was cool. He was a cool guy. Kamala, I don't know. Would you say she's a cool guy or a gal or whatever? Anything cool? I mean, just ask it. I don't know.
Uh, well, I'll tell you what. I'm watching social media very closely. And have you seen all these Facebook posts where these Democrats have now stuck on their profile picture or somewhere on their page a picture of Kamala in a nice suit, saying, and then the caption is "I'm with her." The problem is the truthfulness of this is they should be reading "I'm with her" until ordered otherwise in August. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Trixie in the mix says Paul Lynn was funny. That's kind of our point. So, but he was. Let
Intentionally,
me
though.
clarify. Wait, no. Let's the Patriots are correct. Paul Lind was funny. Kamala is funny, but one is good funny, one is bad funny, right, Chris? I mean, one is really bad funny.
Well,
Just saying. I mean,
one is intentionally funny because that's his job. The other one is funny just because, well, she's there.
yeah. Well, speaking of there, there's been a lot of jokes about, like I always refer people anytime a situation like this comes up. I always want to look at the past. Sometimes the past is prologue, right? I mean, sometimes you can look at the past. And did you know that Kamala Harris was a time traveler? Did you know that she on the Breakfast Club talked about going back and liking LL Cool J and all these other rap groups before they existed? Did you know that?
Oh, as a
And
matter of fact, I did well, she and Al Gore teamed up for this one. Maybe Al Gore is gonna be her vice president. She knew all the rappers before they existed, and he invented the internet. A perfect pairing, I say.
well, so but I got a theory now, and y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but you always do anyway, so it's okay. I think she's a Terminator. I think she was sent from the future back to the past to destroy the Democrat Party. What do you think?
Oh, um,
I'll be back.
you know,
Let
that's
me
an
get my
interesting
glasses on. That's right.
that's an interesting
Thank you.
theory.
That's right.
She comes back to destroy the party. Look,
I'll be back.
what she will do, Tony, is her candidacy will, just like Hillary Clinton's did, set women in politics back about 10, 15 years.
I need your clothes and your bike.
But think about this. Even the first woman president types, which are out there now, and they're going to be a factor. Even those types are going to be looking at uh, people in the future are going to be looking at, well, when another woman runs for president, they're going to be equating her with the likes of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. They're going
That's
to
right.
say if these two couldn't do the job, look, it could either be this way. It could either be they're equating her with, as far as competence level with those two, or evil level, if you will, with the Hillary side, or they're going to say, well, maybe this one will be better than those two. Problem is, these
Yeah.
two have set a low bar. Clinton and Harris have set a low bar for women in
Don't
politics.
don't
It's not
don't
a good
use low
thing.
bar and Kamala Harris in the same sentence, Chris.
Ooh,
I
that's a
think
good
it's
one.
going to get us in trouble.
I
Just
think I
saying.
blew that
Just
one, right?
oh ho 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 ho. So let's talk about that for a second. But let's talk about how they've. I think 14 million people voted for Joe Biden. Am I correct about that? I think it's about 14 million. There she is.
Somewhere around there. Live or dead?
Man, Two Live Crew. You think the Two Live Crew would date her? I don't know. I'm just thinking about that for a second.
She's the ultimate groupie. So there we
Mm.
go.
She is the ultimate groupie,
She's more
a
of a political
DEI
groupie.
groupie. Is she the ultimate expression of a DEI groupie? I
Well,
mean, when you think about it, it kind of makes sense.
so that's another thing. Are you telling? And here's something that also came out this week, and I was reading this. USA Today started this one, and these are going to start rolling out a little bit more. But
Yeah.
the question is going to be asked just like when Hillary Clinton was running: Is America ready for? You insert DEI candidate here. So
Ah,
this time, instead of just is America ready for a woman presidency or a Hillary Clinton presidency, now USA Today started it. There is a is America ready for a president who is a woman of color? That was in a recent. That was in a. It was in one of their editorials
all right.
yesterday. It's
But I
going to keep
want to,
rolling out.
yeah, but I want to hit that point. She's not black. Just for everybody to understand, she's not black. And
No,
this is one of those things that I understand from reading some things this morning that folks who are black are not happy about it because she's not black. It would
they
be
not
like
like
me
us,
saying,
you know.
yeah, well, and then I'm not black. I mean, I'm just saying it's like there's nothing wrong with you. My point is we don't care about the skin color. We care about the content of the character, which I think a very famous reverend who got shot by the deep state, just saying, there's some parallels there, who was trying to make sure that we had equality, not equity. And I think the equity thing is where things really go off the rails. Where one of the things going around, DEI didn't earn it. DEI didn't earn it, and I think
Right.
that's the case here. So, but I don't want to get off the topic of there she is looking all like she's a funeral director.
Well,
Could you see her directing a funeral home? Oh, Mrs. Smith, we're so sorry about your husband, 86, passing. He was a man like no other man. And when you think about men, he was a man among men. And I'm glad men were men. And he was a good man. So I hope that gives you comfort that Kamala Harris, as your funeral director, recognize his manliness, being a man, was a good man. And because he was a good man, all men should be looked at as men. Is that good for Kamala being a funeral director?
Even worse, Kamala Harris, I envision not only saying that, but at the very end, when everybody leaves, she's the kind of funeral director who'll be saying, "Hope to see you all again real soon."
Oh, come back. We'll keep the
We'll
seats
see you
warm
later.
for you.
Hey, if you we have a 10 for 1 coupon. You punch the 10 holes out, you get a free
That's
service
right.
after that.
That's right.
But Joe Biden said it herself. She's a DEI hire. So now this is again
He did.
the left media, the media is going to treat her like one. They're going to say you all should feel guilty if you don't include or if you don't vote for this DEI hire, and that's where you're going to get these things. Pretty soon there'll be the Red Mirage articles again and all this
Oh my
other
God.
thing. Remember,
I don't think it's going to
we
work
don't
this
have an
time.
election. We have an election season.
I don't think it's going to work this time. I'm just saying. I don't think it's going to work. So, but I did want to hit that. So, by my count,
That's what
they tried to rig 2016, didn't work. This is what they were saying. Hillary wins, so she didn't. They rigged 2020, and then because they were worried about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? RFK Jr. They ramrodded, so to speak, not relating to Kamala here. They ramrodded Joe Biden. Well, I guess it is related to Kamala. Just saying, not in the way you all are thinking. Just get your minds out of the bunker this morning. Anyway, I guess his mind is in the bunker, isn't it?
It's breakfast. Do you really want to think about that?
I don't. Anyway, but my point being is that they ramrodded, or what's another term for a senior citizen who is pushed through a process rapidly, so rapidly that he has multiple blowouts? That would be the process they sent Joe Biden through, right?
Yeah,
and,
I would say that.
It's here in North Carolina. Yeah, no, I'm actually serious. It's like here in North Carolina, where I live, that the North Carolina Democratic Party made it by acclamation. They basically said, "Oh, we're not going to allow any other candidates on the ticket. We're just not." So even if RFK or anyone else wanted to come here, and he was competitive, and I think there was one or two other people still on the ballot in the race that were announced for Democrat candidate for president. Chris, they wouldn't let him on the ballot, and this wasn't the only state that happened. So the fact that you had ramrodding, so to speak, through the process, and now they jammed Joe the Jammer. Is that his new? That could be a new nickname. Joe
they jammed
the
him in
Jammer.
like a gerbil. There we go.
Jamma Namma Ding Dong.
Yes.
Yeah. And so anyway, so they forced Joe through the process, and now they're left with him, right? I mean, am I missing something here? That's they brought this on themselves.
Well, they did, but the Democrats have a long time history of dictating who their candidate, who the voters' candidate is going to be.
Exactly.
How long has it been since the voters actually chose a Democrat candidate for president? Keep in mind, people will say, "Well, they did this back in 2008." Blah blah blah. No. You see, when the Democrats want somebody, and another person kind of sneaks up behind them, either they get that nomination, or it's the super delegates who decide. There were always enough super delegates. The Democrats made sure there's always enough super delegates to, on order, to file behind the person that was ordered
to undermine the will of the voter. Right. Exactly. Yes, they always have the fail safes to stop their voters from getting in the way of their choice. Damn you, voters! We're going to fix your wagon, and they do. So it's very clear in this case that's what they did here, and it's interesting that Joe finally gave in, maybe. But let's talk about that. Real quick, let me do a quick read, and then we're going to come back. We're going to bring in our first guest. Unfortunately, the only guest, probably, since our other guest can't be here because he's on the road. But we'll talk about that later. Yeah, well, people like us. It's just, whenever I wear this Hillary Clinton shirt, I think I scare them off. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of not being scary, Paul Stone, our friend Paul Stone, was on the show Friday. He went through and outlined a lot of the issues that you need to be aware of regarding stability of the economy. Now, Friday, we didn't know that Joe, although I did forecast on Thursday on Newsmax in the show that we would hear Joe step down by Sunday morning. Apparently made his decision of Saturday night, when he was having waffles and tapioca, which is a strange combination, but he is a strange guy. Anyway, I digress. But Paul Stone is the CEO of Colonial Metals Group. You need to check him out. He's here with us late in the week. We're going to have to make some adjustments because we're announcing a new format. But he's been with us on Fridays. So we're not going to be doing Fridays anymore, but we'll explain that in a bit. Anyway, back to Colonial Metals. They do a fabulous job of helping you diversify your portfolio. he talked about the need to actually choose your wealth based on the season. One of the things that's coming up is a very dicey season. We have some months left, no matter what, with Joe Biden, apparently. Although I don't know, I don't think he's going to make it in November. But the chaos that we saw over the weekend and the chaos that we know is coming is going to get worse, no matter what. And even if President Trump gets back in, which I think we all have faith he will, it's going to take time for him to right the ship. So you can't go wrong by having the proper financial clothing. Paul talked about financial clothing. Like when you go in the winter, you put a jacket on. Well, he's like the winter jacket you need to face some really big snowstorms coming. So check him out. You have the banner at the bottom there, colonialmetalsgroup.com/ed-henry. Again, colonialmetalsgroup.com/ed-henry, and then close slash 800-805-4034. You cannot go wrong. As a matter of fact, you want to go right. That's why we're here, right? Right, Chris? We're on the right, right? Did I lose you?
Yes, we are. We're always on the right. There we go.
Speaking of
right makes right. There we go.
Someone else is on the right is our friend Angie. Angie
right.
Wong. That's right. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning. Can we just take a minute to appreciate your shirt, Tony? I want to know. And this is serious. I really think he's right with that shirt. I want to know if there is a pathway for a Hillary Clinton win here. Because there is. Can you tell us?
Yeah. Well, there is. There definitely is, because the idea is this: Kamala Harris is being endorsed because it's her turn by Joe Biden. This way, they're testing the waters to see what the donors are going to say and what the voters are going to say about it, what social media is going to say about it, and what the news is going to say. And she is going to have to be put out in the public, marched out there for a few weeks. If she's a complete fool, which there's a good chance she's going to be, the Democrats are going to regroup and pick somebody else. There's no way Michelle Obama becomes the candidate. While Newsom scratches off one box, there's no way they're replacing her with the white male. Gretchen Whitmer, yes, she might pull in Minnesota, but I don't know if too many people like her outside of, excuse me, not Minnesota, Michigan. I don't know if too many people like her outside of there.
Yeah.
But Hillary Clinton, the first woman president types, the rabid types, there should be just enough cheating to get her over the top. And that's where it goes. So what's going to happen?
Wow.
Getting the Hubert H. Humphrey Award for us could be Hillary Clinton. But this is the face of the 2024 Democrats, Hubert H. Humphrey. This is it's going to happen again, and they're going to fall flat on their faces. That party's going to die for 10 years.
Yeah, let me circle that square, because we did study this, and I have a political science degree, and we studied the 72 election. And again, the Democrats all presumed that they had it in the bag, that Richard Nixon was bad. They used, believe it or not, a lot of the same jargon, and gaslighting was going on back then. And it was can I use the word bloodbath? Because everybody gets upset anytime that word is used, but it's true.
It was a horrid.
There was a bloodbath to the Democrats. I mean, Nixon just wiped them all over the map. So I think that's your point. I think, Chris, is like they didn't learn their lesson from trying to, kind of deprive I think McGovern was the guy they wanted, and they denied McGovern through the primary process, and got Humphrey instead. And I think that was a similar thing, where they were even back then, surprise, surprise, depriving Democrat voters of their choice. So, Angie, how do you see this? Because I see this as, and yes, everybody born to ride for 45 is saying, "Hey, beautiful Angie Wong, and you're beautiful and you're intelligent."
George, all right, cool,
Love
all right,
George.
George is cool.
Right. George is cool. That's right.
You got to get him on the show. He was
on the show Friday.
George was on. Hi, George.
We'll have him on again, though. We have to do that again.
Yes, George.
Get us both in a room together. We're gonna be a cracker.
We're announcing a format change. So as a matter of fact, we'll just do it real quick. Patriots, we're changing our format to Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for Chris and I. And then Thursdays, there's going to be our friend Larry Schweikert from Dayton, Ohio.
We like Larry.
Ohio. And then Fridays, we're going to be taking the day off because, it's summer and we're on a siesta. We're going to go hang out in the Greek islands and on a nude beach. How about that? We'll just go out and hang out. How about that? We
Well,
have to get an
Kamala
airplane
says
to do
she's going to
that.
join you for that, by the way.
Come on. All right.
Because I'm
So
trying to make Tony spit the coffee out of his
Yeah,
nose.
I think so.
yeah, you
I'm
keep
working on
trying.
that.
Keep trying. All right. So Angie, back to you
Yes.
though. Back to the
Yes.
beautiful Angie. Angie, tell us. Well, first off, we want to hear about the convention because it looked fabulous. I loved your pictures. For those not following Angie, follow Angie. She's on
Yes.
Twitter. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. A wonderful follow. A great patriot, and she's always doing fun things too. So it's very you can kind of live through her eyes. You know,
No,
the
no,
eyes of
come
Laura
join
Wong.
me. Everyone's invited to the party.
Yeah,
That's what I bring. I bring you into my party. We can all celebrate together because you know what? This party is growing
it's
and
growing.
you know what? I love seeing everybody there. You know, we had all the coalitions there, and you know, we do vote tribally, so it was really nice to see everyone out for Trump during the RNC convention. Ultimately, it was just a big love fest. That's what it was. It was like we look. They wanted us to go to his funeral last week, right?
Oh yeah.
But
Mm.
instead, we delivered him as the official nominee for the Republican ticket for the presidential race. So it really backfired. And remember, just the last time we were on the show together, that was the week that they were going to sentence Trump in Manhattan. But instead, Joe Biden's campaign completely exploded. This is karma in the works, you guys. This is what real instant karma looks like. So I'm just like doing my little happy dance. I'm doing my little Kamala Harris dance all over the place. Right? I mean, we're going to have what a dancing presidential candidate. Do you think she's going to dance her way to November 5th? It's a total joke. I agree with both of you. I don't think Kamala Harris is actually going to make it on the ballot for November 5th. I think it's going to be an open convention.
Right.
There's already whisperings amongst the delegates as to who they're going to put on. Because remember, once Joe Biden releases his delegation, they can vote for anybody. It's not guaranteed it's going to go to Kamala. And between now and what is it, August 16th? What is the convention for the DNC? Whatever the date is.
It's late. It's late.
Yes.
Right. So between now and the DNC convention, you're going to see Kamala Harris's polls tank. And that's why we're calling for Joe Biden. If he's not fit to run for office, he's not fit to run the office right now.
Oh, no.
Right?
Keep him there.
Get him there.
Keep him where he is.
No,
because he
no.
steps down, we get Harris. And no, we don't want that.
No, we want to see Harris completely screw up so that she gets knocked off the ticket. I want to see a real race. I mean, this is too easy. Is it not too easy, you guys?
Hold on. This is what will happen if Joe Biden steps down in the next day or two. Kamala, remember, the Democrats are not like the Republicans. The Democrats are a very well-oiled political machine. They're going to hide her in the basement when necessary. They're going to make sure every single appearance of hers is structured just like Joe. They're going to treat her like Joe Biden. She is going to have the pictures on how to get in and on and off the stage. She is going to be told to shut up and stop laughing, and she's going to only be and she's only going to be answering questions from handpicked journalists. That's what's going to happen. They're going to make her look as good as possible if she winds up taking that office. What's happening now is, this is another thing I want to throw at you. This is the argument for Kamala Harris on the Democrat ballot, and I want to throw this at both of you. Because Trump is likely going to win, unless idiots don't realize or underestimate the candidate in the Democrat side, or underestimate their machine, and say and not bother voting. Remember, we all have to vote. We can't be idiots. We got to vote. Okay, but if let's just say if that's the case, we all come out to vote. Trump wins this election for the Democrats. The nominee will. I'm trying to spit this out. The nominee is the sacrificial lamb, and their political career is going to end. So who really wants that nomination? If you think about it,
nobody.
That's the argument for Harris.
Nobody. Yeah.
Right.
Nobody.
So Harris by default might win that.
You have 112 days between now and November 5th.
Right.
Nobody wants to run a presidential race that closely. It's a suicide mission. It really is. And maybe that's how they get rid of Harris once and for all when she loses.
Well,
right.
I think that's a good possibility. I was just looking this morning on X's. I do, Angie, and you know we follow each other. And Robert Barnes tweeted that he sees this as Reagan 84, and I tend to agree with him. I think that she may end up with one state, and would be California. Maybe California. I don't know. What do you think?
A couple of states, maybe not just one. I think New York has the machine for her. There's several states. Massachusetts will have the machine for her. She's not going to be a complete loser, but here's the thing: all they need is to save all the down ballot candidates.
Right.
That's what she's there for. She's disposable. Everyone
All
knows
right.
it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. So let's talk about that for a second because I'm not convinced their current actions of obviously undermining democracy, if I can coin a phrase, is going to help them out because, I live here in North Carolina. I don't think this is going to help Don Davis one bit. All this
Hmm.
nonsense, my friend, Lori Buckout
Hmm.
is my neighbor and running for the first district. I do you really believe that all these shenanigans, to be polite? And by the way, where's Joe Biden? Here we are. It's Monday morning at 9:26 a.m. on the Eastern Coast, and nobody's seen hide nor hair. How many times have you broke up with someone, Angie, via text? Biden just kind of broke up with us via text. It's like, Joe, I thought we were like closer than that, but no, he
And
just
on a
kind of
Sunday,
on a Sunday too.
when the B
God's
squads were
day.
out. Yes, the
Yeah.
when the B squads were out for the
So
weekend
do you?
news.
I'm not actually being serious. I mean, the demeanor, just the way they've done this, it doesn't show confidence as if there was any way. It shows a fundamental disrespect for the voters. It's not interactive at all. And basically, well, I guess for Biden, it may have been. They probably gave him a big bowl of Haagen-Dazs and said, "Joe, here, sign this," and he kind of signed it, maybe. And who do you think wrote that letter? I don't think it was Biden.
No, in fact, I think it was Axios who came out with multiple signatures that looked like, Biden's signature.
I saw that.
Who knows, right? The message is out. It's
Uh,
out. The only person who has really yet to really endorse Kamala Harris, is Barack Obama. So he's already come out and said, look, let's have an open convention. Let's let the best man or woman win. So I think he's got other plans for this. The
he
Clintons have
does.
clearly come out immediately and said, okay, Kamala's our girl. Let's rally behind her. You're going to see in the next few days how much support Kamala Harris actually has. And and then let the wolves attack, right?
Yeah.
Let's watch this game. It's an amazing, amazing election season. I can't believe we get to witness all of this. This is amazing. Joe Biden getting out might actually do himself some favors. He's saving his legacy. And now he could sit back like Calvin Coolidge and said, no, I want out. Right? I'm done.
Or Lyndon Baines Johnson and say, "Hey, I screwed this country up enough. I'm out." Here's a question for
So
both
yeah,
of you. I want your opinions on this, guys. This is a good one. All right, think about this: the week's events, right? Assassination attempt on Donald Trump a week ago. Then the RNC convention, everybody's cheering, screams for Joe Biden to step down. Joe Biden gets COVID. And then somehow, while he's really sick, there is this note that comes out that says he is going to step down from the race. Now, when he wakes up and finds this out, he's not going to be very happy, by the way. But think about that. Are we putting something together here?
I think Jill's very upset this morning. We should find out
yeah.
how Jill Biden's doing because she had to jump off her presidency this round.
Oh, she hadn't jumped off anything yet. Just saying. So
Yeah, no, I mean, look, Democrats are a mess. At the best they can do really is to help out the down ballot because they don't have a clear winner. I mean, look, Trump has come out and said, Kamala Harris, let's bring it. It's probably the best thing to ever happen to Trump, right?
See, that's another thing.
Sure
That's
win.
a problem. That's a problem. You can't underestimate the bimbo vote. And I say the bimbo vote. Democrats do not vote on issues. They will vote on maybe one or two issues. That's abortion and whatever the women's rights of the day is, if they're making whatever they make up for that. The thing is, they vote for celebrity, they vote for somebody to worship, and they vote for basically somebody who they don't think's a threat to democracy, if you will. But basically, they're looking for somebody to worship. They're looking for somebody to make history, and the first woman president types are going to be out there in droves. So keep in mind, that's something that cannot be underestimated. The bimbo vote.
Yeah, the bimbos, I don't know. I mean, I think the bimbos at this point are going to stay home because I want to hit that next point, which is the legacy issue. So, Angie, Joe Biden thinks he's a good president. Well, he's delusional, as we know, but he apparently, I read the Long Hill article about how they got him out, which, by the way, it's all science fiction. It's so funny that, here's the behind. It's like, it's all fiction. Someone sat down and said, here's going to be a really nice story that we can tell people. Has nothing how it happened, I'm sure, but it's cute. But the one thing in there that they did say, which I think may have a grain of truth, is, oh, Joe Biden thinks he's doing a really good job. So how do you circle that square? Because I said, now Joe Biden has removed Jimmy Carter from being the worst president ever, which I guess is kind of true, which is true. I mean, and to think about it, Carter lived to see us, like, oh my God, sigh of relief, I can die now. And so but he really does believe it. So how do you circle that square where Joe and his guys think he did a really good job? We all know he didn't. So to Chris's point, the bimbos, or whoever you want to call them, the progressives all think Joe did a wonderful job, and they're all upset. How do you reconcile that complete split of perception?
Oh, they have to do this. He has to believe his own lies, because we're looking at a presidential library somewhere down the road. Lots and lots of history books will be written about this election for sure. He wants to come across presidential. He not, completely mentally gone, even though I don't think that he can escape that narrative at this point. He's trying to save what he can, and luckily he came to his senses, and they promised him a lot of stuff. Look, no doubt he knew weeks ago that he was off the ticket. He was just trying to barter for the right deal for himself. When you saw the donor class flee, that's when the race was over. When the super PAC withheld $90 million going to Joe Biden, he knew that was over. So during the last few weeks, not like The Hill and how they constructed a narrative of, oh yeah, 2 of his aides went to his house in Delaware and told him,
I know, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, really? No, that didn't happen.
No, they went there so we could read classified documents to them. That's why they went there.
Yes, they went into his Corvette and they drove around for ice cream. No, it was a slow burn for about 2 or 3 weeks to get him out. Jill was looking for the best deal out. And now we see what Hunter's done. Hunter just dropped his lawsuit against Fox News.
Yep. No money left.
No money left.
Speaking of money, now there's another question. How heavily down in value will Hunter Biden art become?
I'm going to buy a piece. Issue? I'm going to buy.
Oh, really?
I got you're going to be able to buy it. No, you're going to be able to buy it at 7-Eleven with one of those Homer Simpson donuts. It'll be 2 for 1. It'll be great.
Here's what I think.
Cup of coffee and hey, how about a picture from Hunter? Here, just take this out.
Hunter Biden is going to sell Hunter Biden is going to sell the rights to his art to the company that creates Nutty Buddies. So when they make the Nutty Buddy ice cream cone wrappers, it'll feature Hunter Biden art instead, with a picture of Joe eating a Nutty Buddy. And that's how they're going to sell it from here on forward.
Oh, man. They're going to make so much money doing that.
I hate to contradict you. You got it all wrong. No. He's going to make the scratch and sniff pictures, so he's got the cocaine embedded in the art, so you can scratch it and get a contact high.
Hey-yo!
That's good art.
That deserves a hey-yo.
Ooh, I'd buy that.
All righty. Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure. We're going to see a lot of movements this week, right? We're going to see a lot of things moving around. Ultimately, Hunter's going to protect himself. Ultimately, Joe Biden got some deal out of it. You better believe some big donor wrote him a big check. And you better believe something happened in Ukraine, where it's like, okay, Joe, we won't ask you about your foreign bank accounts over there. Right? Whatever it may be.
Right, exactly.
That's what I want to ask you that next, because I think he's only staying in to do damage control and clean up the mess and do what he can to get people, pardons. So, and one of the folks yesterday said, well, can you pardon yourself in advance? Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not a lawyer, but it's worth a discussion point.
Well, the pardoning is interesting. The pardoning means that you still have to admit you committed the crime. Well, you're not cleared of the charges. You're just pardoned for doing the crime. That's where. So technically, when Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon, the crime was not wiped away. But so that's the difference. And commuting isn't even pardoning. Commuting is just letting him home. So the idea is the Democrats will not pardon Hunter Biden because those are gun charges. It's politically inexpedient for them to do that. But his sentence can be commuted if he ever gets one. Of course, on the other hand, one could argue those charges, the gun charges, were kind of BS because, first off, an average Joe would have been thrown in jail a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
on the
the
other hand,
average Joe
they
be in
shouldn't
jail
even
right
be
now
there.
after the conviction. Well, no,
But then
look,
again,
look,
so
Hunter's
does
not even in jail now, and he
yeah,
got convicted. So
exactly.
So I want to hit that. But by the way, for the Patriots, we will hit the issue regarding the assassination. Was there a second shooter? Yeah, we'll talk
That's a
about that in
good
a second.
question.
Stand by, and then CrowdStrike. Let me just say this before we get to it. Anybody who has anything to do with CrowdStrike has the deep state monitoring everything they do on their computer. CrowdStrike, for those who forgot, remember Hillary and the DNC server? CrowdStrike were the folks that went in and made a copy of it and said, "Oh, we've looked at this and there's no indication that anything except the Russians hacked it." It's like it was a complete lie. Just saying.
That's
So
right.
CrowdStrike equals uh, deep state. Deep state equals evil. End of story. So back to our story, though, right? So and back to what Chris was talking about here regarding kind of the overall trajectory of what's going on with them and where they're going with this. To cap it off, because we got to get back, and I want to hear about your experience at the Trump convention. But what's going to happen with Joe? Do you think Joe's going to show up this week, and do you think he's going to pardon Hunter Biden?
No, not at all. No, I think Joe's going to ride this out. He's going to remain president until January, and then he'll do a switchover. But you better believe they're going to Trump-proof all of Washington,
I'd
right? No, they
Mhm.
like
will.
to see
They
that.
will do that. They are going to
Yeah.
do
Let
that.
me
That's true.
let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Jill Biden actually wanted to endorse Kamala Harris? I think
Oh
they're
no.
trying to make her the fall guy,
Oh
and you're going
yeah.
to
We
see
agree on
all
that.
sorts. Yeah, I that's a play. That's not real, by the way, you guys. That's a play. And if she gets in, which again, polls, we have internal polls, we see them all day long. She's not going to win. Obama understands that. A lot of people understand that. So the fact that they're even allowing this charade to happen for the American people, there's some sort of play happening here. I
Yeah.
just don't know all the moves within the Democratic Party, but anyone who believes that Kamala Harris will actually end up there, well, it could be if she makes a deal with Obama. But I don't see that happening. I think Obama's got a surprise attack for us.
Well, he's done some other surprising things, but at this point, I will leave it to you to give us the forecast on. Do you think he's going to take Biden out on a paddleboard up in Nantucket,
Oh,
I think
or is it going to be the Fredo on the boat?
are you saying that he's getting the private chef treatment?
I don't think he likes Biden that way. I mean, we know what the
Come
chef
on,
thing was
man.
about.
Come
Come
on,
on.
man.
I don't
Mm.
I don't
Remember,
think that
he
I don't think
Pop
Biden's
was a bad
Obama's
dude.
type.
Oh. And he was eaten by cannibals, by the way.
That's
Oh
was eaten by
gosh,
cannibals.
alligators, like all of this is just horrible, horrible, horrible. No, I think Hillary Clinton's going to try to slip her way in. I just can't
Yeah.
figure out what the moves are. I'm really going, is she going to try to get in as VP? Is she going to try to, she is carving a way for herself back into the Democratic Party. And I
Well,
don't understand it.
she's gonna have some special moves since she's wearing a muumuu now. It's gonna be like tanker level moves that you watch in the horizon and see the tanker kind of moving across. So just saying.
And she has to get through Obama. And that's the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
thing. Obama runs the show at least he's the face of the deep state right now. I'm not sure if he actually runs things, but he's the face of the deep state.
I agree.
He's the kingmaker right now. And
He
again,
is.
I believe they all know that the person who's running right now, as you said, Tony, is just there to save the down ballot, and that political career is going to end. It's going to be the Bob Dole type of thing. It may be his turn or somebody's turn, but the idea is just save the down ballot, see what happens, and you're going to lose this one. Just take the L and go.
Yeah, but they won't. But that'll be interesting. So,
No,
but I
they'll
want to talk about something that was actually cheery, which was your attendance to the orange. What was it like? It looked amazing, and I got pictures from you and other folks. It looked like a lot of fun, and man, talk about being like not lame. This was like an action packed. People actually enjoyed the convention. What say you?
Yeah, no, we knew what the stakes were. I think the delegates really felt the weight of what was happening because we were flying in as Trump was getting shot in the ear,
Yeah.
right? So we knew what all of this meant. So I think collectively we said we have to protect Donald Trump, and then of course the announcement of JD Vance. We have to protect these men all the way to January 20th. We really do, because there's going to be so much shenanigans
Oh,
that happen between now and
no doubt.
January. Even if he does win, it doesn't ensure that he's going to get into the White House because of all the shenanigans that we've seen. I will tell you, given the crowd strike, we didn't know what was happening at the time. I believe it was Eric Trump who was on stage right before Donald Trump at the RNC convention. So I'm sitting in the Florida delegation. And so we're sitting literally like right at the front row here, right? I'm about 3 or 4 rows behind the stage, in
Yeah.
front of the stage. All of the Florida delegations, our phones lit up, ping, 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 during Eric Trump's speech, to the point where even Eric Trump said, on stage, like, hey, Florida delegation, what's going on there? It's because we all received a message on our phone saying that our flights were canceled the next day.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, people didn't know what to do. We were all looking down on the phone. We were not looking at Eric Trump, and everyone's trying to rearrange the flights and do whatever and everyone's, Eric Trump probably looked at us going, something happened. Did Joe Biden resign? Whatever, I'm guessing. So that happened in the middle of the speeches, and it was
Yeah.
chaos. So, of course, the next morning, we find out, oh, it is true. They've canceled all these flights. And I got to ask you both. I mean, I'm not in intelligence, I'm just a civilian. What did you make of this crowd strike thing? Because we had one company take out all the airlines and airports, banks. My husband couldn't even go to work that day because his screen was blue. Tell me, like, is that a dry run? Remember, we
Yes.
also had the
You,
Arizona primary happening that very day as well.
we
They couldn't
we
vote.
call it a rehearsal, but yes, it was
Okay.
essentially a denial of service test. So
Can I give you a thought on that one? I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in on you guys. I want to
I was going to try
dogpile
to
on this.
explain it, but go ahead.
All right, no, no, go first. I'll throw in a different conspiracy theory.
So, yeah, let me explain what this is before you jump in with a new one. So, a denial of service attack is something that is done to essentially set up conditions for a network or series of networks to fail. It's something that hackers do on a routine basis. But what was unique here, Angie, is where it happened. And the only places it happened was Microsoft computers with CrowdStrike software. I don't know if you noticed, but the moment this happened, a guy named Elon Musk went on Twitter, and you can find it, and said, I have now deleted everything from my systems that had anything to do with
I saw
CrowdStrike.
that.
That was like, so people should have asked, like, why? It's like, I was just curious why nobody actually, like, why did he do that? Because CrowdStrike is evil, because CrowdStrike was part of it.
Yeah, I think, was it a
And so
message
I
to
think
someone, do you think?
that's what you
Was that
witnessed, because I was,
I'm really curious, because I look at timings for everything. Was that a message sent to someone to say, look, we're going to pull this, we're going to do
yes,
this
of
if you
course,
don't get
it
Biden in,
was.
or whatever it was? It was really, I mean, and I remember no one reported this, or
So
maybe one or two people.
no,
Please.
no, I was,
I,
so I'll let Chris go on this next wacky theory in a second. Hold on, Chris, but let me finish this one.
No, I'm good with you.
Because in this case, I was actually on Newsmax talking, and it's like they were talking about it's like, look, it's not Microsoft. I'm talking to you on a Microsoft computer. We're talking right now on the air. It's not everything. This was targeted. It was meant, to your point, Andrew, to send a message, and it was very precise. This was about centers of gravity. They had a number of things to show that they could do it. And I think this is a warning to somebody. Who that is, I don't know. But the other thing, it's just a note to you. Next time, fly Southwestern, because their computers are so old. They're still on the old DOS operating system. They can't be hacked. We're good to go. And there's safety and legacy, right? There you go. Sorry.
Let's float this one by you guys. You might not. The target, could the target be Microsoft itself? And I'm saying this because Microsoft last week fired its DEI unit. And there could be some internal backlash from somebody within CloudStrike, or some kind of little collusion here and there to screw up the update for all Windows systems. Remember, this is all Microsoft oriented. Macs were not affected. Other systems were not affected. Microsoft was affected the very week their DEI team was handed pink slips, and there was a nasty letter.
Microsoft systems, which were overseen by CrowdStrike. Just saying,
all I'm saying is, could there be something into that? I'm asking that. I'm not saying there is. I'm saying there could be something to that. Hey, look, a lot of these techies are far lefties. They could stick
Yeah.
something in there all you want to say, hey,
That's
screw
true.
Microsoft. We'll show you what DEI can do.
Yeah. No, I'm worried because no one talked about this. Maybe some of the Arizona papers. Arizona was having their primaries that day, and
Right.
people could not vote. Can we say that again? People could not vote.
I know.
Their computers were shut down. So why
Yeah.
couldn't that happen on November 5th? I mean,
Well,
this is
that's what.
scary stuff.
That's right.
So
Mechanical
that's
voting booths never had that problem.
no. I did on the air on when this happened. It's like they're trying to send a message, and one of the things that they could do, if you were able to get into and compromise what we call SCADA, supervisory supervisory and data acquisition, SCADA. Those are the automated systems that run traffic lights, sewers, water systems, and the grid. They're just systems that go on. It's like, your brain has functions. Your brainstem just does things. Your body does things, but you breathe without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Think about SCADA as that which is the breath of civilization. It just keeps things going. You don't have to worry about it. But if you compromise those things, you literally, on a cascading plan, can take out whole sections of civilization, literally. And I've said before, and my old friend Jim Woolsey, Master Woolsey, and I've talked about doing a book to sequel of my, where is it? Oh, there it is, The Last Line. We've talked about doing this as an exercise of fiction, but what could be worse, Angie, than taking down the entire Eastern Seaboard power grid in the middle of a 10 below blizzard for about a week? What would happen? How many people would die?
Absolutely.
And so I'm saying to, and I'm not trying to freak the audience out, although,
they're pretty strong-willed people.
They're pretty strong-willed. I'm just saying that people don't recognize the inherent weaknesses that have been built into our society over the past 30 years regarding all the digitization. Digitization is great until it ain't. And when it doesn't work, like you said, hey, all of a sudden you're stranded in Milwaukee. And I don't think they had enough beer to keep you occupied, did they?
They have a lot of beer.
They drink the town dry, and you'd have to well, what do we do now? So anyway, but anyway, I don't want to, but I think it's something we should talk about more, Angie. And I hope we can talk about it because
I was affected.
It was a blip and it was gone. It's like, no, we need to be talking about this. So
this is real. This is real, you guys. And I like you, Tony, I was trying to figure out who was this a message for. Remember, just hours before the CrowdStrike outage happened, you had Obama saying that Joe has to go on air. That's what was in the news at the time. Yeah. And I wonder if that was if that was Joe Biden's team saying, let me show you, Obama, that we can actually win this. Here's the pathway to a win. I don't know. I'm guessing. Everyone's guessing. Nobody knows. But I'm not going to buy that, oh, yeah, oops, there was like a worldwide glitch and therefore the whole world shut down. Even banks shut down. Clearly, you guys, we cannot let this story go.
The denial of service. And I think we should spend more time talking about this. Matter of fact, Angie, would you come back? I want to get a cyber guy to join us sometime.
Yeah, anytime.
Chris,
anytime.
I'll track one of my friends down who can do that.
I might be able to pull somebody off for that too. So
okay, good.
There's a few good people here.
Let's do a discussion on that. We'll circle back, so to speak, to our Patriots and talk more about this because I think they'll find this very interesting as well. But we'll let you all know when we're going to have a show focused on denial of service, basically the idea that you're going to have systems which are compromised and would fail at a critical time, much like Joe Biden at speeches. So yeah, there you go.
The whole Democratic Party. But you know what, guys, I did have a great time at the convention. It was my first convention. I was certainly the freshman there. And it was just very, very welcoming. Obviously, the media was there as well. It was a party at the end. Once we got through the roll call and, we nominated Trump on the ticket. It was a party thereafter, and it was really well done. The production was really well done. Everything was well choreographed. The parties were over the top. But we did feel the sense that we were making history with this one, given all the bullets, all the lawfare and the warfare that's gone on with this guy, and then a bullet to the ear. I mean, it's just too much, you guys. We need to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen, but it does because we're in politics, and I worry. I worry for our president because you know this, and I don't want to be conspiratorial, but it's going to happen again. There's going to be
Talk
some sort
about
of
that.
other.
Yeah, I want to hit that at the end of the show. But one thing before we get off the convention. So were you there when Hulk Hogan tore his shirt off?
Man, that was like my 80s. That
Yeah.
was like,
Yep.
woo! And he looked good. I gotta tell you, even
Yeah.
with all the spray tan and all that, he looked good. I will tell you the funny story when Kid Rock was on stage. Like conservatives, we're churchgoers. We're not really,
I
nobody
like Kid
was
Rock.
rocking.
I like Kid Rock. Yeah,
But
I like.
nobody was dancing. It was like a bunch of like people going like this at a rock concert. Like, what do we do? Do we
Oh,
move?
I saw the pictures of the guys kind of doing the robot. It was like,
I saw that. Yeah.
It was horrible dancing. It was like,
Well,
sorry. It was just
we
the
kind of
worst.
call it the white boy slide. Whereas you ever
Yeah.
dance in a club with the girl and we just sway back and forth with our legs just because
See,
they're dancing. That's what I
let
call
me
it, the white
give-
boy slide.
yeah, let me do a pro tip for those Republicans who don't have rhythm. Go get into yacht rock. There's a yacht. I'm not joking. You think I'm joking? I am not joking.
Listen to
There's
Christopher
yacht rock.
Cross.
No. Stop. You guys need to listen to me on this. And Angie, next time you're up here, they have a band called the Thurston Howell Band. They're like, I swear to God, I'm not sure. This is great. They're great. A shout out to the Thurston Hill Band. And then they do all these great. So, you got all these people kind of rocking out, kind of just soft rock. And it's like a primer. It's like a primer for Republicans to kind of get rhythm. It's like, okay, I know you weren't born with rhythm, but we're going to help you out.
Yeah.
And so you can go and listen to all the soft rock and yacht rock songs, You Belong to Me and all that from the Doobie Brothers and who else was there? There's all sorts of songs. I mean, but I'm serious. I am actually serious. To all my Republican brethren, dude, seriously, get out, go to yacht rock, listen, jump in, get the Thurston House, get the captain's hat, get the blazer, go look like you just walked onto a yacht, like you were walking onto a stage or whatever the song is. Carly Simon, what is that? You're so vain.
You're so vain.
You're so vain. That's right.
You're so vain. No, I feel like the only rhythm we have is just to do the YMCA. Like that's the only dance that we know. We got to fix this, you guys. We look, like Kamala Harris could not have better moves than we do.
Yeah. So you go. Yeah, there they are. I saw them a few days ago. Not that I was training or anything, but maybe I saw them a few days ago, and they were great. I mean, fabulous. So I mean, and they are from North Carolina, from Charlotte, and they were out here on the coast. So but I swear to God, for all the Republicans who are a little bit, don't do the robot. Don't go out there at a convention and be all in your suit like, oh, this is kind of fun. Actually, go out
You should bring these guys to the 2028 convention. That would be pretty
well,
cool.
if I'm running now, they'll be there. They'll be there doing, don't stop thinking about tomorrow or something.
Well, they used that song to troll Clinton, right? I mean,
that's right. That was their song.
Yeah.
Now,
great.
for me, give me X. I'm happy they're on a tour.
I love X.
I'm gonna check. I love it.
Yeah.
And by the way, they think they're kind of a few of them are part of our group. I'll just say that a few of them think like us. Yes.
No, so I always tell the audience, and it's true. I was talking to an A-lister last night who is kind of in the Kennedy camp, but I'm working on this person. I'm going to try to get him out of the Kennedy camp. Anyway, by the way, you probably didn't save it or bring it up. I had a great picture I got with one of the lead singers of Cheap Trick with Rick Nielsen.
Oh, cool.
So because I was coming back, and he's not yacht rock. They're real rock and roll. See, you got it, Angie. This is what you need to tell your Republican friends. Start with yacht rock, work back up to 80s, 70s, and 80s. Get up there with Cherie Currie and all these other rock and rollers. You can do it, right, Chris? They can do it.
True. We can get people. Yeah, you can rock with us, rock with them. It'll be all good because trust me, you'll enjoy it. Just flick on something. You can find it on Amazon, Pandora, wherever you listen to it. You can find anybody. So yeah, just try it. Give it a try.
Anyway, I digress. Stuff. But this is your task. This is your task next time, Angie. You need to get. There he is. There's Thurston Howell. Lovey.
Hey,
you need to get Republicans off their butt and teach them how to get some rhythm. they don't have to be
Yes.
like Elvis Presley rhythm, but they got to have some rhythm. So we're asking you, we're begging you, Angie.
I'll start the Congo line. I'll be the head.
That's right. So anyway, all right. So getting past Kid Rock and him kind of not doing as well as he should, how did it all go in the end? I mean, it looked fabulous.
Yeah,
It didn't look lame.
I will tell you the MAGA stars were there, right? They all had their moment on stage, but ultimately it was the real Americans that were up on stage that broke my heart. You had the Gold Star families up there who
Yeah.
lost
I
family
know.
members. That was a tearjerker of all tearjerkers. You had a mom who lost her teenage son to fentanyl poisoning. You
Right.
had those were the stories that I remember. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Well, he also didn't he bring a hostage from Hamas hostage family up there too?
yes, that's right.
Yes.
The mom
Yeah.
and dad, and
Exactly.
all of those things were the real moments, and then to see President Trump just talk in a very soft voice, in a non-MAGA voice, like just like a grandfather, about his experience of almost being
He's a
assassinated.
veteran. Yeah.
That was
He's a
it. Oh,
veteran.
the
He was
veteran who wants to
veteran
re-enlist.
Bob.
He's almost
Robert
100 years old. He
Fabulous.
He
wants
was my
to.
Yeah,
favorite part.
fabulous.
Robert Peckrell. That's his name. 98 years old, World War
Robert.
II
Yeah.
veteran.
Wow.
Amazing.
See,
Amazing.
so this is really, I mean, I hate to use this term because it's so hackneyed, but this is the big tent. We are the big tent now.
Yes.
And everybody literally is welcome as long as you love America. And back to your point, Angie, Trump loves America. He was going through talking about his experience. Man, I mean, I think he showed great humility and great fortitude. What do you think?
I think that was the right tone. He was a human being. He was a grandfather. He was a husband. Those were the right things that he needed to get the unity. He didn't have to say the word unity. In fact, he didn't have to be Trump at all. He slipped it in. I was watching the teleprompters in the back. He went off script so many times. He just had
I'm
to
sure.
do his thing, right?
Well, going off script saved his life at the Butler County thing.
Really
so there you go.
It really did. And I think it was I think that's going to be the uniter. He's going to look human because the media has made him out to be a Nazi or all these other awful names, right? So I think that, to me, that was the most critical point for Trump, was just look human and be human. And now, I mean, I think the fight's over. I think the race is completely over. The minute he was shot, that was when the race was done. So I think now it's just making sure that remains. I hope it's not an early win. I've seen this before. You've seen it as well. When they win too early, there's a lot of things that can happen. So I hope the momentum stays. I hope, I want to be Team Kamala. I think she should stay on. I think she should try to run for, president or whatever, DEI initiatives that she wants to go for, because it ensures a Trump win 100%. So
Well,
I'm good with that.
Yes.
I've been trolling the left, going into their chats and saying, because they're all, the Republicans all want Biden. I was like, no. I'm on Team Joe. You go, Joe. Don't let them kick you out.
Don't
ever. But now he's out. Well, maybe, because we don't really know that. But we'll have you come back and talk about it. One last thing before we go is the assassination attempt. So there are rumors now that there were two shooters. I don't doubt it. I think there's a good possibility. But more importantly, yes, folks, I've acknowledged it now, but we're not going to go into it today. We've got 2 minutes left. So I want to talk to you about the political aspects of that. Do you think Cheadle will resign today?
Yes, definitely this week. She'll be the fall guy for this whole mess, because they want the investigations to stop right there. And if she, lays down, then I think they'll stop the investigation.
It's possible. Again,
I think her job has been to cover up this past week. That's what I think. I don't think she's doing anything to get to the bottom of it.
Oh, she may just write it out too. I mean, she's been in denial. Mayorkas had tried to block her.
What did you see, Angie?
What's that?
Yeah. Did you see, Angie, that after all the denials for like a week, oh no, we've never denied any requests by the Trump folks for support. Both the Washington Post and New York Times say, they lied.
Of course it's a lie.
Can this administration, have they ever told the truth about anything? I mean, just name me one thing they've told the truth about.
It's called cover your butt. I mean, that's this whole administration. Just cover your butt. It is so clear as day now that there's too much evidence that, you had agencies involved in this, and who might have known prior. I don't know, but you better believe the House committee will do an investigation on this, and we're going to know some fraction of truth. Maybe not the whole thing, but we'll learn
Well,
a lot more in days to come.
I've said on the record, we're not going to learn anything unless Trump wins, and even then, it's going to be like pulling teeth. And just saying, if someone needs to volunteer to go do that investigation, I think I know someone who could do a thorough investigation, and it'll be like a proctological exam, if you know what I'm saying. So just saying. So
do it. You should do it anyway. Everyone should be looking into this. Keep it in the light. Don't let this die in the darkness.
Right. So, well, Angie, speaking of having light, thank you for being here. People love you. They think you're beautiful. Chris, let's take a vote. Is she beautiful? Yes or no?
Stop.
I say
stop,
yes.
Yes. I'll go with that. Yes. I'll agree with you. Okay.
You're such a charmer. You're such a charmer. You win brownie votes.
Thank you. But no, we got to have you back because we want to continue the conversation on CrowdStrike and all the cyber stuff. I think it was that. Like you said, it was like, oh, CrowdStrike, and it's gone. It's like, what the hell was that? And I think they wanted it to go away because they sent the message. Whoever the message was sent to got the message and said, okay, that's enough. Let's move on.
That's it.
We can't let that die. And then we're going to come back and talk about what to expect in the Democrat. Do you think that, one last question, do you think that they're serving themselves well by having put their convention at the end of August? I mean, is that a mistake looking back on it now?
Well, they're trying to do a virtual roll call this week. Remember? That's what they wanted to do. I actually think the timing works out perfectly for Obama if he wants to get Kamala Harris out. She'll have a whole month to tank herself, right? That's what this month is going to be about. It's going to be tanking Kamala Harris, and you'll see it in social media and all the polls. And then when the polls come out, she's going to say, I can't win this. I got to jump off. And then you're going to see Michelle or Hillary, like your shirt says, somebody else will come in.
That's right. So it'll be like deja vu all over again, to quote a famous baseball coach.
What an amazing year.
All right. It was an amazing year, amazing weekend, more to come. So Angie, thank you for being here with us on Wake Up Patriots. I got to do a quick read, but we'll have you back real soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
All right. So let me do another read for Paul. So again, we talked about Paul earlier. Paul joins us on Fridays. Well, he did join us on Fridays till we changed the show to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I guess we should tell him we're not on Fridays anymore, right, Chris? It's like we'll have to reschedule his date.
Yeah. We didn't work that part out, did we? We'll figure that one.
I only work here. I don't know what the hell's going on. So they hand me stuff and said go read it. So anyway, so for now, just today, if nothing else, go check out Paul and his folks at Colonial Metals Group. They have the solution that will help you match your financial close to the weather that you're facing, the weather that your family and you face. They have the correct attire for you to wear financially. And Paul's talked about that last Friday. He's on with us regularly. We're going to have him back on again. He is brilliant when it comes to helping you understand what you need to do to secure your family's financial future. So again, Colonial Metals Group, look at the banner. You can go online, colonialmetalsgroup.com/ed-henry/ a lot of slashes there, but it is what it is. And then 800-805-4034, 800-805-4034. You cannot go wrong. You can only go right, right, Chris? We're right. We are right. And he's right and we're right. And so was Angie. Angie was right too, and she didn't even know it.
That's right. And Angie's always right. Not to be confused, of course, with Fonzie's cousin, Angie, from Happy Days. Remember the guy that caught all the nickels in it from his arm? Anyway, that's my obscure reference for the day.
But, we have our friend Nancy Quattro, who's friends of Susie Quattro. Susie Quattro was on...
sisters.
It's like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, only we don't have Kevin Bacon, so which is probably good. I think he's
I could use some bacon, though.
I could use some bacon, too.
Wasn't his wife his wife was Kira Sedgwick, is Kira Sedgwick. She's one of those chicks and one of those Hollywood stars that as soon as Trump got elected, they put that stupid commercial together to try to convince electors not to vote for Trump.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like with Martin Sheen
Yes. Yeah.
and who
The
else was
fake
on there?
president. That's right.
Brian Cranston was on there. I mean, I worked my ass off just for the. I mean, I think I tried my best to not hold people's political views against them, but it's hard to not. It's hard to watch Robert De Niro movies now or Martin Sheen movies. It's just tough because you see these people for what they are, and you know that they have no integrity and no respect for the republic, and it's kind of tough. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I'll tell you what. De Niro doesn't even know how to handle hecklers either. I mean, he was trying to start a fight, obviously protected by those two big burly lying cops from
Yeah.
January 6th. He was trying to start a fight with some of the onlookers. So yeah, he's kind of a jerk. He
So
shows
yes,
who he is.
we are. Yeah, let me hold on. The people are upset.
Uh-oh.
All right, and Karen will be back. Karen's on travel today, so guys, yeah, we'll Karen's on travel. We'll have her back as much as we can, and she's always welcome, right, Chris? I mean, always.
We love
like,
Karen. Karen's
this
been down with us, several times. So
yeah,
we'll be doing some
this
things
isn't
with
our
Karen.
show. This isn't our show. Well, like I said, we had a coup d'état. We took it over, so we are benevolent rulers, aren't we, Chris? We're benevolent dictators. That's us.
Yeah,
And simply because we rule the roost does not mean we're not going to be reasonable people.
we're like
We don't
Genghis
put-
Khan. We
Yeah.
take over and we nation build.
Yeah, that's right. Or like the Romans, you can all be, Roman subjects, and we're okay with that. Just, just be more cognizant of what you do in the Senate and Roman baths and Roman bathrooms. They had like group bathrooms back in those days. I don't know how they did that.
I think they have some now.
I digress.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in California, it's all going to be one big bathroom. Just saying, that's where it's all going.
A cesspool, yes, but same thing, I
Yes.
suppose, for
All
California.
right, guys. Well, we're over. It's been great. Patriots, thank you for being here. Yes, we jump into the chat as much as I can. We're trying to focus on y'all and stay up, but we have a lot of content, right, Chris? We have so much content. It's hard to get to everything. Every day, we have so many things because
Too many
it's
things
such
are
a
happening. We need a
so
slow
many
news
things are
day.
happening.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were thinking
So-
we need a slow news day. By the way, today, just in a few moments, Cheadle is going to be testifying in front of a House committee. So we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Slow Joe or Crooked Joe, whatever adjective you want to use regarding Joseph Robinette Biden, we'll see if he shows up today. Isn't he due down at the cafeteria for like some fish with breading or something on it today with some tapioca? Isn't that his breakfast, like fish and tapioca?
Fish, white fish and tapioca. That's what it's going to be.
Fish.
Yeah, and maybe
Yeah.
a tomato.
Tomato. See,
Yeah.
he has to show up for that. Anyway, so we'll see you all tomorrow, right? We're back tomorrow.
We are. That's right. Again, see now. I
Wow.
gotta remember that new format. Tomorrow and Wednesday. We're here 3 days in a row. If you
3 days in a row, you
can't get
can't go
enough
wrong.
of Tony, you got him
So
3 days in a row.
check us out tomorrow. We'll have more great content. I think we'll finally have our secret special guest, which people have been guessing because he was there at the rally and I do want to talk to him. So we'll hopefully have that set up. Anyway, stay cool. We'll see you all tomorrow. We love you all, and we'll try to be more focused on the chat as best we can. I mean, it's a Monday morning. Go on. I ran out of coffee, so my multitasking is shot. So there you go. But we'll see you all tomorrow.